All right. Now let's go for the message based solutions. If you are having any question, just let me know. Yes. So we have already talked about there are two message based solutions. So first one is that storage account queue, and the second one is service bus. So storage account queue, what is the data space is given in the storage account? 500, right? Is this correct? Within a storage account, I will get a 500 TB data space. Is this correct? Yes. Team, are you there?
Yes, Madhavi.
So is this correct? 500 TB data space, I will get it in the storage account.
Yes, Madhavi.
Okay. But in the service bus, you will be having only 80 GB data space or zip data space.
Correct.
Okay, which is a very, very less amount if I'm comparing with the storage account queue. But still, and if I'm comparing with the costing purpose, storage account queue is the cheapest solution and the service bus is the very, very costlier solution. But still, for the enterprise level enterprise level applications, for the transaction purpose or any inventories or the journal purpose, we need to choose the service bus instead of the storage account queue. Now, why? So first of all, let's talk about what is mean by message based solution. So here we need to talk about what is mean by queue services. So what is mean by queue? Anyone?
It will be following in one by one or LIFO-FIFO
Yes.
principle.
FIFO principle, right?
Yeah.
And queue is nothing but it's a temporary storage. Why it is a temporary storage? As I already talked about that. So suppose this person wants to send a ball to another person, right? To this person. So this person should be there, na? If whenever I'm throwing this particular ball to this person, if that person is not present, then what will happen? No one will catch that ball or that ball will be discarded somewhere, right? So whenever this happened, so similar way is happen in this. So whenever A wants to send message to B, and because of any reason, if B is not available, then what will happen? So that message has already sent. So that message will be discarded somewhere or message will be lost somewhere. So in order to hold that message, in order to hold that message, we are adding a queue into that. What is that? Queue, which will hold that message if and only if B is not present. Till B is not present, right? So what is the flow now? That message will be transferred into the queue and then message will be going for this one by one, first in first out structure. And if the B is present over here, that message will be added into the B device and discarded from the queue. It means it's a kind of push. Your message will be pushed from the queue to that B receiver, right? And then it will empty that queue, particular queue. It's a
Yes.
kind of, yes, go ahead.
No, I was saying that you gave this example regarding to the WhatsApp last time, I believe.
Yes. I'll do that. Yes, and also I will take that example over here. So it's a not kind of only the thing. We can talk about the SMS services and the WhatsApp or the Telegram kind of thing. But it's a kind of a communication between two application or the two devices. It could be anything. So in online shopping website, whenever you are just purchasing that product, you hit on that purchase that product, right? Your product will be getting added into the cart, and inside the cart you are proceeding to the payment. So whenever you click on that proceeding to the payment, it will redirect you to the application, which is the banking application, right? So there is a communication between two applications, your main online shopping website as well as your banking application in the backend. So in order to send that particular data from one application to the another application, we can choose here message based solution. Most of the time for this particular reason, we are choosing the service bus. Okay, now why? So there are some limitations on the storage account queue. That's why we need to go with the service bus, right? Is this clear? Now, in order to take the example, here I am taking the example of WhatsApp, and here I am taking the example of SMS service. So inside the storage account queue, we only have a queue service. Queue means what? Only one receiver. Queue means what? One-to-one communication. If I want to send a message to another person, let's say I want to send a message to Surbi. So it's a kind of a one-to-one communication. So this is called as a queue. Hi message, I can only send it to Surbi. That's it. But because of WhatsApp now, I can do a one-on-one communication. If I want to send a message to Surbi only, I can do that. Otherwise, I can go for a topic. Topic means what? One-to-many communication. One-to-many communication means what? One message, hi message, I can send it to Azra, Surbi, Nikhil, and everyone, right? So this is what the topic. So inside the WhatsApp, we have a broadcast group, we have a group, we have a multiple solution. It means one message you can send it to the multiple people's recipients. So this is what the topic, and that option is not present in the storage account queue. This is the main comparison, right? Another thing is here inside the storage account queue, you can write your message, but only in a text format. Only in a text format. But here you can write it in a text format, or you can write it in a JSON format, or you can write it in a XML format. So anything, it's a kind of a device to device communication. So you can just choose the JSON format, you can choose the XML format, anything. So this is the another advantage of the service bus. Now next one is in the storage account queue, here you can write it in a text format only, but your one message size should be 64 KBs. Message size should be 64 KBs only. If you remember in before many years, we have a SMS service, and that SMS service we have that we can write only 120 characters or 200 characters in one message. So like that. So there is a limitation on that message size, and which is a very, very small amount. But over here, you can write a message in a 256 KB. Also, you can write a message in a 1 till 1 MB, and also you can go more than that. So if you are choosing the service bus in a premium tier, there is one option to select that, and you can go beyond that 1 MB space. So right now we are using the WhatsApp. Inside the WhatsApp, we are having the huge amount of space, right, where we can just add our huge amount of message inside that. So like that service will be work on that WhatsApp, right? Now after that, message retention time period. So here, why we have a queue? Queue will hold that message if B is not present. So storage account queue will give you only 7 days of retention period, means up to 7 days, or message never expires. What is that? Up to 7 days, or message never expires. If I'm selecting the 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, whatever days inside the 7 days, then message will be discarded like a delete. Message will be discarded like delete. We don't have another option, or otherwise you can have a message never expired. So in the online shopping website, whenever we are putting some data into the cart, let's say we are putting some data into the cart or into the wish list, that data will be stored for many days. You don't have that expiry time for that, right? So let's say if I want to purchase some particular product, I will put that multiple product regarding with that, and I will purchase only one of the product from that. So sorting out. So maybe I will purchase it in the future. So like that also I will put it into the wish list, right? And that message, that particular data will be there for a long time period. And in order to store that data, what is the product details? We need to store it only the product details and the image URL for that particular image. So I can use this option over there because you can manage it in a 64 KBs. And if you remember, this is a huge amount of data space. So how you can add multiple messages inside that particular 50 TB data space, because of the message size is very, very small. So I can use that storage account queue and the infinite time period for that. So there I can just use it. But for the inventory, for the other things, transformations, we need to use the service bus. Why? Because here the retention policy is very, very high. Means you can select 1 day, 2 day, you can select 10 days, or you can select multiple days, but there is no option of the message never expired. But here we have a huge amount of flexibility in the retention period. Okay, retention period. But what if I'm selecting 1 day for my retention period? After that, what will happen? Here, after the retention period, your message will be discarded like a delete. But here, after 1 day, you can specify, okay, after 1 day, my message will be discarded from the queue, but that message will be stored inside the DL queue, which is called as a dead letter queue. Dead letter queue means what? It's a kind of a recycle bin. You can just store that data over there, and then you can decide whether you want to send it again into that queue and just wait for another 1 day, or you can just choose that action on that. You can do whatever you want. So this is what the DLQ, and the DLQ option is only present over here, only present over here inside the service bus. Now let's say in front of the ATM machine. So there are peoples are standing in a first in, first out. What is the rule for that? First in, first out only. So whenever this person will withdraw the cash, only then and then only this person will take the position of the first person, right? This is fixed. But what if this person is standing ideal? That person don't want to go forward, that person don't want to go out of that queue. Then what is the rule? Everyone should follow first in, first out. If this person is not moving forward, then here we will have a traffic. It will create a traffic, right? We don't have a permission to go forward. So this is a kind of things, ideal queue or any other duplicate detection and all these things. So here in the service bus, we have that options to delete that particular kind of SMS or that queues. If there are some queues which are the ideal in nature, so we can discard that. If there is a duplicate detection, so we will detect that. Everything that options are present over here in the service bus, that options are not present over here in the storage account queue, right? So that's why for the enterprise level applications, whether the space is limited, whether it is costlier, then also we need to choose the service bus only because of this advantages and that features. Is this clear now? What is the service bus and storage account queue? Yes?
Yes, clear.
Okay, so let's start with the service bus. here I will show the demonstration in a portal itself, because it will give you the very beautiful thing, which is a service bus explorer. So we can just go for it. Let me just create first, like a event hub only, you can create a service bus namespace first. See here, this is a namespace. So I can just put it inside the RG1. Here I can just put that Madhvi bus name BUS. Okay. Here I can just choose in the East US region. Here I will choose the tiers. Now see here, if I'm getting inside that, here in the basic tier, you will get only a queue with the features, right? If you want to go with the queue, you can just go with the features. Here we will have the queue as well as the topics. So you can just go for it. And this is a premium tier. So premium tier will give you 100 MB space. See here, now they have changed it to the 100 MB space. And here you will get a 256 KB. So I'm okay with the standard tier because I don't want to pay too much for that. I'm okay with that standard tier, and it will cost me only 10 rupees for a month. Then that's fine for me. So I will choose that and then here select it. Now, once you selected that, options are similar as an event hub. So you can just review and create it. Till the time we will going to talk about storage account queue. As we are already done with that, so still let's have a recap of it.
So Madhavi, the more the retention period, more the it will cost us, right? In the for the Azure, right? The retention period, if it's more, it will cost us more. Am I right?
Yes, it will cost us more. So as per the features, so let's say this is a premium tier of the service bus. So here you will get 100 MB for the one message. You can go up to 100 MB, as well as for the let's say what I can say, standard tier. It is only 256 KB. So there is a difference between the message size as well. There is a difference between a retention period and all. So that pricing will be changed as per the features which is included in that service. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now this is my storage account queue. Still my deployment is in the progress. Okay, this is also done. But still, let's complete this queue part. So here it's a very, very simple one. Storage account queue. You can just create a queue1 over here. And then inside that queue, you can create a message. Here you can add the message. Here only one option is there, which is a text. So let me just send hi message. And here you can put that your message will be expired in. So let's say if I'm saying that, okay, in a 7 seconds, my message will be expired. And then you can just click on okay. Also, I can just add the another message. How are you? And I will say that, okay, message never expires. So now see here, hi message gone because of the 7 seconds. I cannot get that message back. I cannot restore it. And this message is for the how are you? And this, see here, expiry time period. So it's a very, very huge infinite time period. Either if you have a multiple messages, either you can just go one by one, delete one by one message. See here, DQ first message. Or otherwise, you can just go for this clear whole queue. Only these two options are present over here, nothing else, right? But now let's go with the service bus. Let's get inside the service bus now. So here we have the service bus, and inside the service bus, either you can create a queue or either you can create a topic, right? Now let's create a queue. So here I can just put the name as a Q1 only. And here in the service bus fixed, you will get a 80 GB space. But out of that, inside that service bus, you can create a multiple queues and multiple topics. So you can choose here. For this particular queue, what is the space I want to give, maximum queue size. So let's say I will give the only 1 GB size. Out of 80 GB, I will give a 1 GB size for this particular queue. Now here we have the maximum delivery count. What is that? Number of maximum deliveries within that particular queues. You can specify that how many deliveries you can just do it in that particular queue. 10 delivery, that will be fine for me at a one time. And here we have a message retention time period. This is a time to leave. So either you can choose one, either you can add 0, 10 days, 100 days, 1000 days, 10,000 days, lakh and more. See here. So this is the maximum number of days. These are the maximum number of days. Here we don't have the option to create it message never expires. It has that particular number, but its value is very, very huge. So you can just choose that. So now I don't want that. So let's say 1 day message retention time period will be okay for me. And then you can just choose the log duration. Log duration means what? So now let's talk about these things. Okay. Now what is meant by the log duration? So here we have the log duration. Log duration means what? You can at least put the 30 days. At least by default, it is having 30 days. Now what happened whenever A wants to send a message to B, there is a queue, right? This is called as a queue. Now, whenever this message is pushed from the queue to the B device, whenever we are doing that time, maybe something went wrong with the device B, and at that time B is not present. Means what? B is going to shut down or the switch off or anything will get happen, or maybe it is out of coverage area, anything will get happen. But what happened over here? Q got the receiver and Q sent the message from Q to the B, right? And then it's a kind of a push, means it will discard from the Q and it will send it to the B. But at that time only B is not available. But the message has already pushed. So your message will be discarded somewhere. So log duration means what? 30 seconds. Every message Q will check for the 30 seconds whether that whole message has sent to the B receiver or not. If it is properly received by the receiver, then and then only it will discard it from the queue. So it will lock it. It will lock it for the 30 seconds to check whether it is received from the receiver or not. If it gets the notification or it's a confirmation, okay, that message has already received by the receiver in a 1 second, then at that time your message will be discarded from the queue. Otherwise, it will check if something went wrong. It will check whether that receiver is present over there or not, or whether that message is received by the receiver or not. So like that. So for this particular reason, you can just put the seconds log duration. After that, auto delete on ideal queue. So if there are some ideal queue, it will create only the traffic and it will create it because of some glitch or some errors in the devices. So if you want to delete that automatically, then you can just go for it, ideal queue. Now here we have a duplicate detection. Now what happened duplicate detection? Let's say A wants to send a message to B, right? Now inside the queue, so A wants to send a message to B. At that time, A sent that message into the queue. I just click on that button. Okay, sent. And at that time, my A is not available. Something went wrong. I cannot able to check that whether my message has sent it or not. So what I'm doing? I'm just starting the device again, and I don't know whether that message has pushed from the into the queue or not. So what I can do? I can send it again. So right now in my queue, there are 2 messages, which are the duplicate messages, right? So if we have enabled that enable duplicate detection, then it will just show you, okay, these 2 messages are a similar messages. So what you need to do? Do you want to send it or do you want to discard one of that? That option is, that control is in your hand. We don't need to worry about that. But if you enable it, it will only detect it. So what you need to do after the detection, that is your part. Okay, but if you enable it, it will detect the duplicate messages. Now after that, here we have a duplicate, dead letter Q. So after the 1 day expiry time, your message will be stored inside the DLQ, which is called as a dead letter queue. And then you can decide whether you want to send it again into the queue or whether you want to discard it. You can take the decision on that. Enable the partition. Enable the partition means what? Multiple users are sending the message to particular B, right? Then if the senders are multiple, you can use the partitioning. Enable the partitioning for that. Enable the session. You already know about that. It's a first in, first out only. What is that? First in, first out only. Queue is nothing, but it's a first in, first out. But if you want to guaranteed, if it says that guaranteed FIFO, then that guaranteed FIFO will be over here only. So in your examination also, they will ask you some kind of that questions. That message size will be 64 KB or one message size will be 50 KB or something like that. And you need to make sure about that. It should have a guaranteed FIFO. And there are two options, storage account queue as well as the service bus. Then what? If it is a 50 KB message size, you can easily go for the storage account queue. But what is the main particular naming convention over there, or the hint over there? Guaranteed FIFO. And that guaranteed FIFO option is only present in the service bus, not in the storage account queue. So either it is a 50 KB message size, then also we need to select the service bus. And also here, guaranteed forward message to queue and topic. It is there. It is there, right? So every message is going to send it on the queue or topic only. But still, if you want to guaranteed on that, then you can just choose that enable guaranteed forward message to queue or topic. So like that, you can just enable that services, right? So these are the different kind of features you have. Either you can enable it or either you can put it as it is. So I'm going to create that. First of all, this is my queue. Now, once I create my queue, I will get inside that. And then here we have the Service Bus Explorer. Either you can send a message from devices, either you can send a message from the on-premises applications and all. But here, let's say if I don't have a source and the what is the destination, I don't have that, then also I can easily understand the flow of this. I can easily understand what is the flow of the service bus and the queue. So here we have the send message. See here. So this service bus explorer is a beautifully designed for that. You don't need to worry about that. You can easily understand what is the flow of that service bus or how we can send and receive that messages. Now, let's say if I want to send the message, which is the hi message, I'm sending that message, which is the hi message. Either you can send it in the text format, XML format, or JSON format. So I'm just choosing the text format and then send it. Okay. Once I send it, then here this is a receiver and this is a sender. Here in the receiver mode, there are two modes, peak mode and the receive mode. Now, what is mean by that? Peak mode means it's a snapshot. Snapshot means what? Whenever somebody send a message to you, you can get the notification in your mobile phone, right? You can get the notification in your mobile phone and you can easily read that message, who sent what. It doesn't mean that you have received that message. It doesn't mean that you have received that message. You have only read that message from the snapshot, right? So this snapshot is nothing but it's a peak mode. So whenever we have a snapshot or whenever we are using the peak mode, your message will be there inside the queue only. And when it is discarded from the queue, if you receive that message, then and then only it will be discarded from the queue. Now, when it will get received, so you need to get inside the WhatsApp, you need to click on that sender, and then only there will be the blue tick marks will come. And then only your message will be discarded from the queue. So see here, my message is present in the queue. Now, if I'm choosing that pick from start, I will get that hi message. I will get that hi message, right? This is my message body. Now here, still my message is present inside the queue. Still my message is present inside the queue. Now here, I can go for the receive mode. Now within that receive mode, again, there are two things. If I want to pick lock, if I want to do the pick lock means what? Lock the snapshot. Lock the snapshot for the particular time period. Let's say for the 20 seconds. Let's say that for the 20 seconds, I want to lock that particular message in the snapshot only. You cannot receive that message. Receive means what? Receive will delete that message from the queue. So let's say I have already pick locked that message and then I can just hit on receive. So that message is locked, right? That message is locked now. So if I'm receiving that message, I just want to receive and delete, then I will not getting anything till the expiry time period. What is that expiry time period? 20 seconds. After 20 seconds only, I can access that message. Okay, so let's wait for a 20 seconds. See here, not locked, and then I can read that message. And see here, at that time only, your message will be discarded from the queue. Got it? How it works? Is this clear how it works? You can send it, you can receive it. Inside the receive mode, you have a two modes, pick mode, receive mode. And then inside the receive mode, you will have a pick lock and the receive and delete mode. Okay. So this part is done. Now let's go for the topic. So here we have a topic. See here, this is a topic. So first of all, you need to create a topic. So this is a topic 1, right? So I'm just specifying 1 GB data space for that also, and then done it. Now what is meant by topic? Topic means what? If A wants to send a message to multiple receivers or the multiple recipients. Let's say A want to send a message to B, C, and D. Now, if I'm putting only one queue in between and connecting with that, then what will happen? So see here, this is my only one queue is present over there. Then what will happen? So if I'm sending hi message, that message will be present over there. And if any one of that 3 peoples, if any one of that read that message will be discarded from the queue. Is this clear? Yes. Is this clear? What will happen?
Yes.
Yes, Madhavi.
Okay. But what I need to do, if particular B person read that message first, at that time, this particular message will be discarded from the queue. But what about C and D then? They will not receiving any kind of messages. But what I want to do, I want to send a hi message to B, C as well as D. Then what I need to do over here, I cannot use only one queue. I have to create a multiple queues. So this is my first one, this is my second one, and this is my third one, the separate queues. And you will get that queues by using the subscription number. Subscription means what? It's not a billing unit. It's a connectivity between the publisher and the subscriber. Means what? If I want to send a message to Azra, then we both need to install the WhatsApp and we need to connect with the mobile numbers, as well as I need to store the contact for Azra in my mobile phone, right? It's a kind of connectivity in between both of you, both of us. So this subscription means what? It will create a particular path in between sender and the receiver by using the queue. So it's having a separate queue. Okay, so whenever I'm sending the hi message, it will go for this person, and this person. So whenever they are available, they will read that message. So till that time period, they will have their own queues, right? So that's why the subscription is must. So here also the same thing. Here we have a publisher and here we have a subscriber. So this is also the PubSub model, like an event grid. So let's get inside the topic. And here we have that subscriptions. So if I'm getting inside the subscription, let's create that subscription first of all. So let me just create a sub one. Subscription one. I can just put the count as a 10 count and then create it. Okay, let's create a sub two. Done. Okay, now if I'm getting inside my Service Bus Explorer, here it is saying that first of all you need to select the subscription. See here, you need to select the subscription. So let me just send the message, which is a hi message. Hi message, whenever I'm sending that hi message, that message will be appear inside the queue. But first of all, I need to select the subscription. So see here, inside that subscription one, I will have that message one, which is present inside the queue. So if we want to receive and delete, if you go for receive and delete mode from the sub one, let's say a person has already received that message, which is this message. See here, hi message. So now in that particular subscription, the queue will be 0. But that message will be there for the subscription number 2 because they have a separate queue. So see here, this message is present over here. If you want to go for the pick mode, you will get that message. See here, this is my message. Still, it is present in the queue because I haven't received and delete that message, right? So you can just receive and delete that message. Here, you can just do that. Okay. So like that, after that only you will be having the 0 message. See here, 0. Is this clear? Subscription number 1 and subscription number 2 will have their own queues. So that's it for the service bus and the storage account queue, which is the message based solutions. Any doubts over here? Yes, team? Any doubts?
So Malvi, just take an example of a WhatsApp group, and suppose I post a hi on the WhatsApp group and there are 10 members in that group. So there'll be 10 queues within that same group.
Yes, 10 subscriptions. So
10
every subscription is having its own queue. Okay, it's a kind of same thing. See here, every subscription is having that own queue, Q1, Q2 and Q3. So if you have a 10 people, then you need to create the subscription for 10 people.
Got it.
Okay,